I live in my car because the cost of living in America is just too high.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about something serious. The cost of living in America is choking people, and it's getting worse by the day. So from what I've gathered, it looks like our people may start losing their homes much sooner than anyone expected. Mortgages payments are skyrocketing, but salaries are staying the same. So jobs are disappearing, grocery prices are through the roof, and even working class people, those with full-time jobs, are now turning to living in their cars or even storage units to survive. Homelessness is on the rise, debt is climbing higher than it's ever been, and to make matters worse, people are being replaced by AI at a pace that's becoming the new norm. So folks are overwhelmed. Many people are living paycheck to paycheck, trying to stay afloat in a system that's clearly shifting and not in their favor. So I've gathered some clips for you guys that is showing exactly what is happening. For more context, people are sharing their thoughts on this. I'm asking you to participate in this. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm going to come back at the end of this video to give my own 2 cents. Let's watch this together.
People are going to lose their homes. They're going to lose their homes. I'm telling you guys, the storm is brewing and it's coming fast. Insurance premiums and property taxes are skyrocketing through the roof. And the result is that people's mortgage payments are getting higher and higher to the point that it's going to be unaffordable for most people. If you don't already know, your property insurance and your property taxes are rolled into your mortgage payment for as long as you have a mortgage. If you don't have a mortgage, you have to pay those property taxes and insurance separately outside of the mortgage. Part of your mortgage payment, when that statement comes in the mail, there's a line there that says escrow. And escrow is money that's set aside from your payments that is then used by the bank to pay your insurance and your property taxes. Your actual mortgage payment may not go up even if you have a low interest rate. Interest and principal will stay the same, but the amount you have to pay every month is going to skyrocket because the banks have to make sure you pay that. Your mortgage payment is going to go up because they've got to pay property taxes and insurance. This has always been the case, but the difference this time is that the rate of acceleration on property taxes and insurance is unlike anything anybody has ever seen. People's monthly payments are going up from $1,800 to $2,800, from $2,500 to $3,500. One of 2 things can happen. You either lose your home to foreclosure because you can't afford that payment, or you try to sell your home so that you can get out of this terrible situation. And the more people that start to now try to sell their homes, the more inventory increases, the more those prices are likely to come down. This does vary state to state, so it's not exactly the same in every state. Some states are in worse situations than others. They weren't kidding. Those fuckers weren't kidding. They said you'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
Truthfully, the only thing that's going to make this better is if we can get politicians to stop letting the offensively rich have all the money. But they're so afraid of losing power because the offensively rich have so much money that they can pull the strings to not get them elected, that they keep letting them have all the money. It's like, you know what? No, you don't get to be so rich that you have go to space on a whim money. I'm sorry that buying private islands and 48,000 square foot homes is not rich enough for some people, but the government needs to step in and regulate this. So if you only have 100 monies and you give 90 of the monies to 2 people and then let 20,000 people split the rest of the money, this is why we are where we are right now. And that's just, it's not sustainable. It's literally not sustainable. I'm sorry you don't get to go to space anymore. Like, going to space on a whim is not something that multiple people in this country alone should be rich enough to do. And truthfully, like that's why we are where we are. And the government needs to be able to step in and grow a set and deal with this in a way that is actually good for people. But they're so afraid of losing power that they don't.
It's definitely strange times right now. You know, your favorite stores are half stocked in certain areas. People are losing their jobs out of nowhere, and prices are rising when our paychecks are not. And really, these are not just random events. They're signals of what's coming. And it's bigger than just job losses, you know, like what you're seeing. It's a complete restructuring of how we live, how we work, how we survive. And if you think that things are feeling off, I mean, you're right, because things just are. This is not the normal America that a lot of people are used to. It's not the America that we've grown up in. It's not even the America that we've seen before during uncertain times.
It's not the overspending, it's the cost of living. Here is a breakdown of the average Gen Z and millennials cost of living in today's world. So number one is rent. Everyone knows that Gen Z and millennials have to have a roommate. So splitting a 2-bedroom apartment with utilities is around $1,500. If you have a car, a $12,000 to $15,000 used car is still going to run you $400 a month. Car insurance and gas is another $300. Student loan payment, $500. You're going to have groceries for $500. You're going to have personal care, doctor's appointments, hair, gym, about $150, and then cell phone and miscellaneous $150. That's $3,500 a month, which is baseline. Do you know how much $3,500 a month is? $70,000 a year, or $34 an hour. Because after you take out taxes, put $300 for health insurance, and do a healthy $500 401k contribution, that leaves you with $3,500. This is no fun, no savings, no maintenance, no clothes, no kids, no traveling, no vacations, no bachelor parties, no weddings, no funerals, no clothes, no school supplies, nothing. And this is paycheck to paycheck. And on top of it, they're holding $40,000 of student loan debt, a $15,000 car, and if they ever wanted to buy a house with closing costs and the down payments, another $50,000. So they need $105,000. So even if they were somehow able to scrounge up after $70,000 of paycheck to paycheck, $5,000 to go to a concert, to have avocado toast, whatever it is, $5,000 a year, it would take them 20 years to pay off this debt and save up for a house. 20 years of living with the roommate where that rent's going up, and they're making $70,000 a year as a college graduate. The average person in this country makes $50,000. It is not the overspending. It is a cost of living crisis.
You can't just always listen to only what the news tells you. You have to look at what's actually going on here in America. And again, I'm talking about the job losses, the rising debt, corporate restructuring, and how all this points really to a much bigger collapse. Major companies like Amazon, Google, UPS, fast food chains, I mean, they're all laying off people by the thousands now. And it's not because they're going bankrupt, but it's because everybody's throwing around this term that they're restructuring, which is basically another word for doing more with less people. And many people are being replaced with AI and automation. And guess what? It's not just a trend that's, came and gone. It's going to be the new normal. In fact, I know people who were making great money in 2022. Hardworking people, they were loyal employees, and now they're just driving Uber or doing DoorDash to get by. I saw the other day that there was this one woman that she was working for a company, and after 18 years with that same company, no warning at all, they just let her go, and she's gone. And she's not alone. We're seeing this across the board. People are broadcasting all of their job losses, and it's not just about losing your job, but it's about losing your safety net, right? Your income, your routine, your confidence. A lot of people cling to their jobs for their identity, and they're losing that right now. And it's really tough because they've invested so much time and loyalty into these companies, and they're just being let go. Really, this is not a typical recession that people have seen before. What we're witnessing is a whole economic unraveling, and it's very, very deep. The entire system is shifting. The middle class is shrinking. Home ownership is slipping out of reach for everyone, and everything that we depend on, from healthcare to housing, energy, everything's becoming more fragile. Jobs that used to be our security are vanishing, and retirement is just being drained. Retirement counts, people need to pay their bills, and their retirement counts are draining. And I won't even talk about the gig economy, because that's really struggling as well. Nowadays, a lot of people are just finding themselves in a point of survival. I mean, you either are hustling or you're falling behind. The economic disruptions with the supply chain issues and much, much more. There's so much in history that we can look at to not be afraid in the future, or be afraid in the present rather, but to learn from that and use that as a tool to help us prepare, for these type of things. And, it's not preparing for doomsday scenarios. It's preparing for hard times in life that actually do happen. And that's just that. So what can we do? Obviously, we can try to share, and we should. We really should. But a lot of times, real understanding and growth is only going to come from personal challenges and mistakes. And while facing hardships, it teaches resilience, critical thinking, and adaptability. And a lot of times, these things are not learned from advice itself. It'd be great if it was. And for a lot of people, that is enough. But for others, it takes going through these experiences and learning, learning the hard way. And it also reminds me of a verse in the Bible, Proverbs 22:3, that says, "The prudent sees danger and takes refuge, but the simple go on and suffer for it." So when it comes to preparedness, a lot of people will think, they're preparing for doomsday scenarios. And that's just not the case. It's for real life events that have happened and can happen at any given time to anyone. Nobody's immune from that. It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, what you have. If it's happened before, it can happen again. I mean, that's just reality and common sense. And it's really important for us to do our best to try and take responsibility for ourselves at whatever capacity that is. And it's okay that that's different for everybody. Everyone lives in a different area. They have different networks. They have different resources, different financial means. It's not the same for everybody, you know, with what we can do. You know, we have different capabilities, but the main thing is that we can all do something. And that's what we should just be doing something. And another way I really like to look at this is that it's better to have the tools and resources that you might need than to need these tools and resources and not have them or not have access to them. That's when, I mean, that's really bad. You don't want to be in that predicament, and you're not going to be perfect and you can't prepare for everything, but there's a lot of stuff that, you know, you can do, whether it's very small steps, you know, that's perfectly fine. So that's just the truth. A real good example right now is what has been happening with Hurricane Helene, especially in North Carolina and South Carolina and Tennessee. People have been suffering so much, and I have been getting so many comments and hearing so many personal testimonies of how helpful it has been for those that did have food and water and fuel, cash. People literally are saying that cash was extremely important to have on hand. And it's funny because I get so many comments saying that cash won't do anything. How about go talk to the people in North Carolina and see what they have to say? Because in the beginning, when there's some kind of disaster, for however long people have confidence in a currency, the cash will do something. So even if stores are closed, maybe you can pay for items from, you know, from somebody else, or maybe there's mom and pop shops that have some items that they'll take cash. I mean, you can always still do something with cash. It's not worthless. There hasn't been a currency collapse. So it still works. So remember, history is an excellent teacher. There are so many lessons as to what has happened in the past, and it teaches us how to be prudent in the future. And let's choose to have faith over fear and to be proactive rather than reactive. Take care, friends, and I'll see you in the next video.
There's a new trend forming, and it's living in your car. This is my home.
I live in my car because the cost of living.
I have been outpriced at the rental market.
Sorry, just gotta stop you there. It's not a trend. This is not a trend. This is survival instinct. For countries that have collapsed and the rent is too expensive and the food is too expensive and all the prices are too expensive for a single person or even two people to afford to pay the rent, this is what happens. You end up living in your car just to survive. It's not a trend. Let's be very, very clear about that. But there are solutions, and unfortunately it means moving and living in another country. As you can see, the prices here in the Western world, where it's modern and forward, right, are just too expensive. This is England, and here we go, let's look at America. These prices, according to the, you know, the jobs, it's not enough. You won't be able to save money, you won't be able to do anything. But here's the prices here in Asia. And do you think you'd be able to afford that? Basically, you can have 6 months here for 1 month there. Do you think people are living in their cars in Asia? Asian people, let us know in the comments if you see this video.
Let's talk about the thing that's keeping people up at night. Like, how in the world anyone is supposed to afford to live in Florida right now. My wife and I served our country. I retired after reaching the rank of colonel in the Air Force. She's a government employee working at MacDill Air Force Base. Between us, we have 7 college degrees, including a doctorate. We're doing all right, and even we can't afford to live in Tampa. What does that say for everyone else? People are working 2 or 3 jobs just to pay the rent. Families are getting priced out of the neighborhoods that they grew up in. And what did the Florida legislature do this year? They renamed the Gulf of Mexico. They banned fluoride in water. They passed nonsense about weather control. Meanwhile, your rent's through the roof, your insurance bill looks like a second mortgage, and no one in Tallahassee seems to care. The truth is, the system is broken, and it's broken on purpose. Real estate corporations are buying up homes and turning them into Airbnbs. Insurance companies are hiding profits in shell companies and then crying poor to get state bailouts. And Republicans, they're not just letting it happen, they are helping them do it. Now, we need someone in office who's willing to fight for you. Not for corporations, not for campaign donors, but for everyday Floridians who just want a fair shot at a decent life. Because the so-called free state of Florida, it's not so free if you can't afford to live here.
More and more people are really struggling here in the United States to put a roof over their head. A lot of people are not able to qualify for apartments or purchase homes. They're having a hard time. They are becoming homeless. And a lot of people are even finding more creative ways to try and keep a roof over their head. Some people are even looking at storage units. Check this out.
Been living in my car. Now I'm living in a storage unit, trying to get an apartment, but can't right now. I'm at the storage unit, finna get me a storage today. I'm feeling mighty proud of myself today, you know. Yeah, you can see the building right here. I ain't gonna really show everything, but yeah. I'm looking for the smallest storage unit. How much is the smallest? Just got the storage unit. I think I can put my, thought I would have a bigger one, but I think I can put my bed right here or whatever. Man. Got all my stuff in. Gotta get some, I lift this up when I get hot.
I'm homeless by choice because I got tired of spending all my money on rent and I need to save some money. If you're new here, I keep most of my stuff at this storage unit, but I also have an office where I have access to Wi-Fi, a refrigerator, and pretty much everything else I need 24/7. I have 2 jobs and I also sleep at work, so that definitely helps. Keep in mind, the office and work are 2 different places. Now, I am really active in my comments, and I noticed that a lot of moms were saying if they didn't have kids, they would be doing the same thing. And I definitely understand. For years, I just felt like it had to be a better way. I did not want to work, go home, take care of the kids, barely sleep, and still have to pay all these bills. My kids are older, so it worked out to where I was finally able to put myself in a situation. So although I sleep at work, I rented this office because I just don't want to be in one spot all day. We have offices starting at $300, so it's nowhere near as much as I would be paying for rent. Whenever I do come here, I have 24-hour access. I can use the bathroom. We have a microwave, refrigerator, Wi-Fi, and everything else I need.
Hello, good morning. Can you keep your door open?
Yeah.
Okay, because we can't have it closed like that. It has to be open, wide open at all times.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Everything okay?
Everything good?
Okay, yeah, if you don't mind opening it, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good day.
You too.
Man, I had to bring him here. I ain't want to do it, but I mean, he chilling, man. This is what we at for the night. We in the unit. You know what I'm saying? Shelter, he be tripping, man. His behavior, he on bunch of weird people there. He don't like it. But here, he got his own world. He got the TV, he got the bed. He chilling. So he got a moat. You know what I'm saying? We gonna thug it out. We gonna slide out in the morning, do what we do. Ain't that right, boy? We gonna do what we do, ain't it? Huh?
So life update. I'm living in my car. My little S10. This is me. Stay home for the foreseeable future. And yeah, I don't know what to do. And I don't really have anyone. I toured 2 apartments yesterday. I won't qualify for them because you have to make 2.5 times the over $1,200 rent a month. And I don't even make the rent a month. I've never been homeless before. But you know what? This is a really good story. Like, I can only go, I mean, I could go down, but like, I'm gonna go up from here. Cause then, like, I'm broke and homeless at 21. But like, that makes for such a good story. When I'm like, super successful and rich and like, doing so well and have so many people. I'm gonna have such a bomb starter story. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be like, I was broke and homeless at 21. And look where I am now. Boom. And it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be like, wow. Go you. I just gotta make it through this part. But this part like builds resilience, character, all that shit. I'm gonna be so funny after this. I'm gonna have such a good personality. I'm gonna be equipped with so many skills. I'm gonna be so smart, crafty, nifty, and cool, and funny. And it's gonna be so good. I just gotta make it through this part. Just checking in, I guess. I mean, I hope they,
I'm broke, I'm 18 years old, and I live in this small little vehicle. Today, we were finally able to get the front seat out. One of my coworkers at Jack in the Box ended up taking it out for me, and I'm so thankful because I could not do it on my own. And of course, I wanted to record for you guys the whole process of taking a whole seat out, but I was embarrassed to ask him if I could record him, and I also don't want anybody from work knowing that I do TikTok. Anyways, after taking the seat out of the vehicle, I cannot believe how spacious it looks. I know a Fiat is a very small vehicle, but it literally feels like a small RV, and taking out the seat just made my life way easier. I don't have to be hopping or jumping to the front seat to get things. I love it. I think I'm gonna get like small little cabinets from Walmart so I can organize my clothes. Somebody asked me where I park, and I do park outside a coworker's house. I give her $50. She allows me to use her electricity, but my car isn't running and I need.
Okay, so let's talk about this. I think it's safe to say America, the US is in a crisis. And it's not just some isolated issue affecting a handful of people. This is something that's touching everyone from every walk of life. But I guess the hardest hit are the people in the middle and at the bottom, the working class, the everyday citizens just trying to hold things together. It's beginning to feel like the system is designed to is not designed to protect the people doing the labor, keeping the economy moving, raising families, or working multiple jobs just to stay afloat. It's rewarding the top, automating away the jobs in the middle, and suffocating everyone below. And the scariest part is this doesn't look like a temporal glitch. It looks like it's becoming the reality. So the big question now is, how is everybody going to survive? How do people navigate a world where the cost of living, the cost of simply existing keeps rising, but their income doesn't? So let's start with some hard but necessary truths. First, financial awareness is no longer optional. This is survival. You have to know where your money is going. It's time to audit your spending. Look at your bank statements, cut unnecessary subscriptions, prioritize what keeps your roof, your health, and your food on the table. Luxuries can wait. Right now, it's about building financial resilience. Secondly, community matters now more than ever. Isolation is a trap at this moment. Find local support groups, connect with others in similar situations, share resources if you can. Split costs if you can, trade skills if you can, whether it's carpooling, bulk buying groceries together, or rotating childcare. There's strength in numbers. The system may not be showing up for everybody, but people can show up for each other. Like, I can give you an example in my community where we stay, because we are talking about the cost of living. So sometimes what we do is we would put the money together, we contribute. It's a group of 5 or 10 people. We go and buy groceries in bulk. Whatever that is, whatever it is that we need, we'll write down what we need, and then after we buy in bulk, because one, it is cheaper, and then we'll share equally. That saves us a lot of money, and I think a lot of people can do that. And if you are employed, this is a time to level up your skills, especially digital or remote friendly skills. AI isn't going away, and the job market is evolving fast. Learning how to work with these tools instead of being replaced by them could be, the difference between having an income and falling behind. And the internet is full of free learning resources. You don't have to spend thousands to gain valuable market skills. Also consider multiple income streams. It's not about chasing hustler culture. It's about not depending on a fragile source of income. Maybe that looks like freelance gigs, digital services, selling used items online, renting a room, or starting a small side hustle with low startup cost. Anything that brings in extra money right now is a lifeline. When it comes to housing, if you're at risk of losing yours, get proactive. Don't wait until the eviction notice comes. Talk to local housing organizations, legal aid and services, and community shelters. Look into shared housing options. Some people are even forming intentional communities where several families or individuals split the cost of one property. It's not ideal, but it's neither is living in a car or on the street. Now, about debt, a lot of people are drowning in it right now. High interest loans, credit cards, late fees, it all adds up. If you're in that situation, try to negotiate. Call your lenders, see if you can lower interest rates, reduce minimum payments, or qualify for hardship programs. And if you can't pay everything, prioritize essentials: housing, food, and transportation. As for groceries, prices are ridiculous right now, but there are ways to stretch what you have. Meal planning, cooking in bulk, and choosing affordable staples like beans, rice, oats, and frozen veggies can go a long way. Shop discount stores, use cashback apps, and consider food pantries if you need them. There's no shame in seeking help to feed yourself or your family. Mental health is another piece people overlook when talking about financial hardships. The constant stress, the fear of losing everything, it wears you down. If you're struggling, talk to someone. There are free hotlines, online counseling options, even group chats and forums where you can release some of that weight. This is not something you have to carry on alone. And finally, don't let the system convince you that you're a failure. You are not the problem. You are living in a collapsing structure that was never designed with your well-being in mind. The blame doesn't fall on you, for your struggles. It falls on a broken system that profits off your desperation. So that's why we need to stay informed, share stories, support one another, and refuse to normalize this level of struggle. Because once we stop talking about it, once we accept it as just the way things are, that's when we win. So I think that's where we come to the end of this video. If this video spoke to you, if you're feeling the pressure or you found ways to adapt, please leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's make this a space for real conversations, not just content. Your experience matters, your ideas matters, and someone out there might benefit from what you figured out a long time ago. Okay, so I think we've come to the end of this video. If you found this video helpful, please make sure you leave your own thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please stay peaceful.